Hey, good morning. I am going to go in and do the LPGA Scottish Open. I needed some help. I needed to look at something different because every time I play a PGA Tour course, it is just a nail biter if I can make the cut from on the simulator. I'm hoping if I go to a little bit shorter tees, I might have a chance to make the cut. And it's fun to see what the LPGA Tour is playing this week. And as I prepare to watch that with my boys, one of my favorite things to do is me and my boys will watch the LPGA events. And we love it because their swings are just so perfect. Their accuracy is second to none, and it's really, really fun to watch and kind of learn for them what perfection almost looks like. Once you get to the PGA Tour guys, yes, there's some beautiful swings, but generally speaking, it just looks different. They're efforting so much, whereas the LPGA, it doesn't look that way. It looks like effortless for them. So we're going to go in. I'm going to see what it's like to play the Scottish Open. Please join me. All right, welcome to the Don Donald Golf Club. This is where the women are playing the Scottish Open. We're going to preview it, see what it looks like. I'm going to try to play it. I'm going to make the cut. As you can see, the cut line is +5. I've been really struggling with my driver. I'm hoping just because it's a little bit shorter, I'm going to have a chance to have a second shot. My irons have been relatively pretty solid with the exception of my short game. And I have a video coming out where I'm working on it because I went through my scrambling stats and they are ridiculously bad. 30% scrambling. And then if you look at something like on the PGA Tour, they're upwards of 65%, which I'm not even close to. So I'm hoping when I work on my scrambling a little bit, I'll start to shoot better scores. As you look through my strokes gained on my golf pad app, it just adds up to shooting, between 1 to 5 over par every single time I play. And like I said, it used to be a scratch, and like a true scratch in the sense of I shot 72. I know plenty of people that have a scratch handicap, but you take them to like my home course, there's no chance they're shooting 72. It's a really, really difficult course. In fact, I believe the rating is 76. So 76.4, so that's kind of like where par is. And then like the PGA Tour course I was just playing is 77.5. So it's brutal. And I shot my highest score ever on the simulator of a 79. So I'm hoping that I play this golf course and I'm pushing that water boundary. Ooh, that's close. I'm hoping just a little bit of short, a little bit shorter would be helpful. So like I was watching Lauren McLaughlin, she won last year, and she won a couple weeks later too. She had a great little stretch. But to kind of give you an idea, she has a distance driving her average of around 255 yards. So these courses are set up to, obviously, not that she's one of the longest people on tour or women on tour, but it's set up a little bit shorter. And for somebody like me who has an average distance of carry of, around 290 yards, I have a serious advantage going into playing some of these courses, even though I don't have the skill set that a lot of these LPGA players have. So can a scratch actually shoot a good enough score? And there's a great example. Like proximity to the hole's terrible, and now I have a 3-putt and I get a bogey. So not much momentum just yet, but I'm within the cut line, which is great, and I'm excited about that. One thing is, as you can see, I'm not dealing with anything. Those who haven't tuned in before, obviously, I'm not dealing with any rough. Really, I get a 10% penalty, so it's just a math equation. I'm not dealing with wind really today. Like, it's a really quiet day over there. The most I've had so far is like 7 miles per hour that I've seen. So it's really not too bad at all. The other great advantage that I have when I get to play one of these courses, like even for the women too, is you'll see their scoring averages, similar to the PGA Tour. Par 5s are obviously under par. Par 3s tend to be just a little bit over par. And then par 4s tend to be just hovering right around par. So I'll have the biggest advantage on the holes that they score the best on, from a strokes gained. So that's my hope, because I think they average somewhere around, like, I was looking at LPGA stats. I believe she was at, Lauren was at 4.9 on par fives. So can I do better than that, in the sense of, can I gain almost like half a stroke on all the par fives through the round? That gives me almost it gives me almost 2 strokes through the entire round to get ahead on the past champion. And then if I can squeeze out a few pars on par threes, even 3 of them, then I should be in good shape. I already had 1 bogey, so I got to get 3 more. And then if the par fours, if I even just am at 3.9, I should gain enough strokes gained during that time. And then, as you see, you can add that up over 4 rounds. Maybe I have a chance of competing with one of the leaders. Now, this is unlikely. Having said that, though, making the cut is a little bit easier because of the par fives. That gives me a great chance of making the cut, whereas on the PGA Tour, nearly every single one of the PGA Tour courses, I can't reach the par fives in 2, or it's a real stretch. It's really, really difficult. Like, here's a great example. I just drove this green. That might be an eagle. Oh, that's right on the edge. Come on, give it to me. Oh, yeah. So I got an eagle. Now, the other thing is, they stretch these golf courses out to about 6,300 yards. So when I went to go play this golf course, I don't know that I could match that perfectly. They had a men's tees and a women's tees. I'm guessing that they alternate a little bit between them, and the tee sets are set so they get around that 6,300 yards for the women. To give you an idea, when I play my home course in Colorado, it's around 6,400 for the men's league tees, which is at altitude is nothing. So the course is shorter than what they're playing. These ladies are playing, which is kind of embarrassing that we can't get the men's league to just go 1 tee back. It's ridiculous, but it's a huge thing among the group if we go back. But I would say most of the single-digit guys wouldn't mind going back 1 tee, pushing it to 6,700, and then it's 7,500 at the back, which you'll never see anybody go back there because, well, there's just too much complaining that goes on. That's what golfers are good at. They're like skiers. They're one and the same. Golfers complain and cry, and I don't know that skiers are any different. And I live in the Vail area, so I deal with both. Okay. That's a good swing. Yeah, I'm watching here, and this course is cool because there's at least enough room for me to miss, and my driver has been pretty rough. I just switched the settings. I've been telling everybody I've been going back. This is my second round. I went from a driver with, I put an X stiff in. I brought it back to standard. All right, another birdie. I put it to standard loft, and then I moved the weights back to their standard setting. So like the 13 gram is in the rear, and I'm still spinning it close to 2,800 RPM. So it came down a little bit over my stiff, which is pushing 3,400 sometimes. And now I pushed for this round. I pushed it down to no, I take that back. I changed it to 8.5, I believe. So I'm at 8.5 loft. I'm hoping that will help. But again, I'm not swinging particularly well with the driver. I'm a little wayward right now. And it's interesting because that's where most of my strokes gained. At least when I look at my golf pad stats, that's where all my strokes gained are off the tee. And then I have strokes lost on short game. That's my worst one. And then putting is right around 0. And then my approach shots are right around a plus 0.01 or something. It's super small. So generally my approaches are pretty good. But when I look at the only reason it says that is because my greens in regulation are really solid. My putts per hole are around 1.8. Not great. It's a proximity to the hole issue, which for some reason, like for example here, from that short of a distance, I should be closer than that, in all reality. And you've probably seen it through this entire round. Like I'm just missing. That's a birdie opportunity that should not be really missed from that short of a distance. Like this one is a short par 5. Obviously, there's no way they're going to play it this short on the LPGA. In fact, I was watching a little bit this morning. I haven't seen this hole yet. So I'm kind of curious to see how long they actually play that. But you can see I'm playing the front tee, and the chances are they're playing back. And I have this, I mean, that's basically a gimme birdie at that distance, only 130 yards in. I just got to get it on the surface. So, like I said, if I was playing the men's tees, there's no chance there. That's the other thing too. The par 3s are kind of nice because I don't know exactly. Like I said, I haven't seen this far ahead. I can't remember how long they're playing this hole. But for me, the difference between hitting 200 yards and 221 yards compared to like 140 and 150 or 160, it's just the dispersion is so much smaller because one, you hit those so much more solid. I do personally. And then, so it's not only just a distance dispersion, but it's also a left-right dispersion that are dramatically easier. And there's another great example. There's no reason from that distance that I shouldn't be in birdie range. I'm just off when it comes to like under 80 yards. And you saw my ladder drill that I was doing on the simulator the other day. I'm just struggling, just really struggling with it. I just need to put more time. During the winter, it's so much easier to do because it's so dang cold here, and I got to make a choice if I want to go skiing or I want to work on my golf game. And I tend to work on my golf game more often, and I get to hit those short shots over and over and over. Hitting those short shots helps so much. But then when the season comes in, when I get a chance to go play on the real golf course, that's all I want to do. And then I've noticed as I'm filming, there's another birdie. That was nice. That was the same shot as the last hole. If I just work on, once I start filming, I get myself into trouble because all I'm doing is playing rounds and not doing practice, which is super fun, but the practice really suffers. All right, so here I am on 18. I kind of tweaked the driver setting again, just another degree lower, and you can see I'm starting to get a little less spin and the ball's carrying further. But this seems like a realistic yardage for a women's par 5. I'm in the rough, but I'm only 193 yards, so not very far. Basically a gimme birdie. And I'm well inside the cut line. We're going to see where their scores are for the end of the day. But I'm going to play a round 2, see if I can follow that up, and maybe I can even flirt with the lead. Last year, the winning score was 15 under with Lauren. So hopefully I can stay in that ballpark. This is really fun.